Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Pep Fernandez, live and amplified at the CBU Event Center. The Lancers taking on first place Southern Utah tonight on ESPN Plus at 7 p.m. I hope you'll join me for the call. The Inland Sports Show is about to begin, but we had some big breaking news today I want to talk about because we did record the show on Monday night, and it's a really, really good show. But one to mention real quick, Riverside Poly boys basketball being put on probation immediately, so they are not eligible for the playoffs this season, and they will forfeit all their wins for the past 4 seasons as well. That coming from the CIF Southern Section office, so we wanted to make sure you guys knew about that. Plus, National Signing Day, and it was a big day for our local athletes, including a couple local football stars going to the University of South Florida. Centennial quarterback Izzy Carter is headed down there to play for the Bulls, as will Cajon wide receiver Jaquan Smith, a.k.a. Florida. He's originally from Florida, so this is a homecoming for him to go back to the Sunshine State. And we also had Dre Robles, the Aquinas All-CIF quarterback. He will take his talents to the University of Redlands, so the Bulldogs continuing to get a lot of good guys here in the IE. And baseball, softball, we had it all, including Riley Henderson, former Patriot High School softball star, now at Roosevelt. She will take her talents to North Dakota State. All right, so here comes the Inland Sports Show. I hope you'll join me on ESPN Plus for the Lancers and first place Southern Utah coming up at 7 p.m. Welcome, everyone, to the Inland Sports Show. Before we start the show, make sure you like this video and you've subscribed to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. And if you're a local business or organization and you'd like to promote yourself on this show, just send us an email, inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. The show starts right now. Garcia's left-footed. And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. I am your host, Pep Fernandez. We will be back in the Teen Vision TV16 studio next week, but for tonight, it's a very special at-home edition. And we are going big tonight. Very excited about this show. We're talking Roosevelt boys basketball, Perris boys basketball, Beaumont girls basketball, Cajon softball, and the Super Kids Bowl in Hemet is back. We got those exclusive details as well. But we're leading off the show with Roosevelt boys basketball right now, and it was a very big and special night for the Mustangs. A big win against Santiago because it was win number 200 for Coach Stephen Singleton. Man, he's had some really good teams, the state title, all that stuff at Roosevelt. He's got another great squad this year, and a very special night for him to get win number 200 as they are getting ready for the D1 playoffs now coming up. Also on that night, on Coach Singleton's number 200, Darnez Slater went for 52 points, and that is our big boost play of the week. Inland Sports. All right, let's go back to that game against the Sharks. It was a big one for Roosevelt for a lot of different reasons. Coach Singleton, number 200. Darnez Slater, in the business of buckets, and business is good. 52 for Darnez Slater. Here's a couple of his highlights from the outside, from the inside, the mid-range game. This guy did it all en route to scoring a school record 52 points. Man, and there's been some good players at Roosevelt including the great Jamal Baker and Matt Mitchell that went to that state final. So Darnez Slater now the greatest scorer in a single game at Roosevelt High School. That's our big boost play of the week, and career win number 200 for Coach Singleton. We had a chance to catch up with Coach Singleton and Darnez here on the Inland Sports Show. Check it out. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. It is the Roosevelt boys basketball team. We got head coach Stephen Singleton here and Darnez Slater, who just dropped 52 to set a new school record. And Coach, let me start with you, man. You've had some good teams in the past. This year seems like this is a pretty special group as well. I mean, when you went into the season, what was kind of your goals, maybe your expectations for what this team might be able to accomplish this year?
You know, we had high expectations. You know, we always keep our expectations very high, no matter what year, since I've been here. And but I knew this was a good group of young men who we had some experience from last year. You know, Darnez was our leading scorer last year as a sophomore. We had Nate Simon, who came in, transferred into us last year. So he finally got a full year underneath his belt with us. And then, you know, we had other guys who just kind of have been grinding in our program for, 3 or 4 years. So I felt like, this group definitely could do some big things for us, and so, but just got to get out into the court and prove it. And they've done that so far this year.
And Darnez, let me go to you, man. 52 points. I don't know if you went into that game against Santiago thinking, man, I'm going to, there's no bad shots. I'm going to take everything every time the ball finds my hands. But did you go in there like in attack mode? Like, what was your mindset going into that game? Did you know what the school record was? Were you going for it?
Well, at the beginning of the game, I was just like everything was going in. But I didn't realize until like halftime, I was like, I could actually break the record. And I always told Singleton, like, my goals are to break like all the records that other players have. So me being able to get close to that one, I was like, I have to go for it.
Coach, what was the record? Who had it?
Matt Mitchell had it.
Of course he did.
And that year, 2017, it was 36. So he had 36 that year. That was one of the 6 or 7 games he had 30 plus that year. So 36 was the highest.
So Darnez, man, he just raised the bar to 52. Like he just shattered that record and put it up there really high. Coach, what do you think makes Darnez a unique player? You said leading scorer as a sophomore, back as a junior. What do you think makes him maybe different from other guys?
I think he's just a kid who wants to be great or be the best that he can be. So he's a gym rat. He's always working on his game and trying to get better. He has a big belief in himself, you know what I mean, of the things that he can accomplish. And, it's just his work ethic, separates him from a lot of the guys that, that we've had here. You know what I mean? He reminds me of those, the Matt Mitchells and the Jamal Bakers, of guys who just want to be great and they know they have to put the work into it. So he is definitely one of those dudes.
Darnez, mentioned, you went for the school record because early on, the buckets were just falling. Your stat line, I got it right here, 21 of 30. Coach, that's pretty efficient. You know what I mean? It's not like you put up like 50 shots to get those 52 points. Darnez, how would you kind of describe your game? Are you a guy that likes to get to the rim? Are you a guy that likes to pull up for the jumper? How would you kind of describe the way you score points?
I feel like I'm like a 3-level scorer. So if I can get to the basket, I'll get there. If not, I can pull up for the mid-range. Or if they're playing off, I can shoot the 3. So I feel like I just like get to my spots pretty well and like know how the defense is guarding me.
Who would you, and maybe this is a hard question, Darnez, but who would you at the NBA level say, well, my game kind of resembles this guy? I'm not saying, hey, he's as good as Steph Curry or somebody, but, you look at some guy and you're like, yeah, our games are similar. We kind of do similar things.
Well, everyone says Jason Tatum, but I don't really see it that much, but that's what everyone says.
Take it.
But, yeah, that's what I would think.
That's a good comparison. I would take it. Yeah. Coach, I know you still have a couple more league games to go before you get to the playoffs. What do you think this team has to do playoff time to get a couple wins in a row and who knows, make a deep run in CIF and maybe find yourself back in a championship game?
You know what Roosevelt's all about, man. We have to be locked in defensively, and for 32 minutes, we have to be locked in to be able to, make it as hard as possible for teams to score. And I feel like if we do that, it leads to our offense, and can lead to, easy transition baskets or just kind of gets us into the flow of what we want to do offensively. So really, we just gotta stay locked in. We've done a pretty good job this year. And we just got to continue that. We just got to continue to compete, go out there, compete every day, and lock in defensively.
So, Coach, even for guys like Darnez, obviously a big-time scorer, but if you want to play at Roosevelt, if you want to see the floor, you still got to get after it on the defensive end. Is that right?
That's absolutely true, and everybody knows that. You got to play defense, and even some of our best offensive guys who've come through here, they've known it's been hard for them sometimes to get on the court because you got to be able to lock up your man. And so, they've all learned that at some point, and he learned it pretty early last year to be able to get on the court, and he's continuing it this year.
So, Coach, I probably buried the lead on this. Career win number 200 for you the other night, the same game that Darnez went for 52. What does that number mean to you? Does it just mean you've been around a while? Does it mean you've had some great players? Like, what does 200 mean to you?
I think what you hit it right there. To me, it's all about the type of players that I've had here. And we've had some very good ones, but we've had some guys who buy into what we preach, what we talk about, what we believe in, and what our expectations are. And so 200 just means I've done it. We've done it consistently, but I've done it with the young men that have come through our program, and so I give all the credit to them. And I appreciate letting me coach them the way that we do.
Coach, has the game of basketball maybe changed at all, evolved a little bit? Has your style of coaching maybe changed a little bit over the years? I'm not saying like Steph Curry changed the game with everyone trying to shoot a three-pointer as soon as they cross, half court. But, has basketball or the way you approached coaching, has it changed at all since you first started to where we are right now?
Basketball is definitely, it's changed in the fact with, social media and all the things that go on with that. It's changed. But the game, people want to shoot threes and they want to do that. And if you got guys who can shoot it, you're going to let them shoot it. But I don't think it's changed that much. When you got to be able to put the ball in the basket and you got to be able to play defense. And so it's a simple game. I think too many young people make it complicated. And but the game, like I said, has changed in the outside of it. Mm-hmm. But when you're in between those lines, it's the same game. You just got to go out there and compete and play hard and try to play together.
Let me go back to Darnez for this one. Darnez, how has your game maybe changed from last year to this season? Is it more of maybe a leadership role or being more vocal or looking for your shot more? Even though you're the leading scorer from last year, but has your game evolved or changed maybe from last season to this year?
Well, Coach he'll always tell me like if I'm not getting to the basket and I can't hit the three, like I need like a mid range. So this summer, all I did was work on my mid range, and that's like one of the main things that I do now. So I think developing like a more mid-range, a better consistent three, and like trying to like draw fouls more. I think that's how my game has changed when it goes to sophomore year to junior year.
Coach, going back to Jamal Baker and Matt Mitchell, having guys like that, come through the program who are big-time talents. When you have another guy like Darnez coming up through the program, when you see these guys, do you know from a mile away, like, man, he's pretty special. We're going to work with him, and he's going to be one of the all-time greats maybe to come out of this program. Do you just kind of know? Do you see the writing on the wall?
You definitely see it. And with Darnez, what I saw first was a kid that wanted to be good, right? Wanted to come in as a freshman and be on varsity. Wanted to come in as a freshman and get some playing time. And he didn't play a lot his freshman year, but I saw, we had a young man leave our program, and Darnez kind of took that as an opportunity for him to step up, And so what I did see in Darnez is somebody who is consistently working on his game, is consistently in the gym, either working with his trainer, working with us, or working by himself, just getting in shots, And so that's what I saw that he had with a lot of other guys, like we talked about before, had. Of just the work ethic, and that type of thing. But, you got those guys sometimes, the Tyson Chandlers and the Brandon Jennings of the world, you go like, dang, those kids, But even our other guys, they had to put that work in to get to where they wanted to get to. And he reminds me of them guys.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Coach, full disclosure, we're recording this interview on a Monday night. It'll air Wednesday night during our normal time slot for the Inland Sports Show. I know you got Centennial on Tuesday night. That's a big league game. And then you wrap up league play. Coach, I can't even believe it's almost playoff time for high school basketball already. Are you excited about where your team is at right now as you get towards the playoffs? You feel like you're playing some pretty good basketball right now?
No, I definitely feel we're playing pretty good basketball. I think we still got, a few more steps that we can honestly get to, level that we can get to kind of make a playoff run. And it's going to be tough. We're Division I. But I feel like we're playing good basketball. And I feel if we just continue to lock in on the defensive end like we do, we could do some things. And so it's not going to be easy, but we're definitely looking forward to the playoffs and keep it going, keep the season going.
All right, Darnez, those 52 are great, man, but you got to play some defense. You heard it from Coach. Guys, listen, I really appreciate the time. Coach Singleton, you're one of my all-time favorites. I always appreciate you making time for us on the Inland Sports Show. And Darnez, congrats on 52 and that school record, man. That is a big deal. And I feel like you might have another record-breaking game or two in you with still a senior season to go. So congrats, Darnez.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pep. I appreciate it. Good seeing you, man, and I hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. It has been way too long. That is Coach Singleton, Darnez Slater, Roosevelt High School boys basketball here on the Inland Sports Show. Well, I appreciate that interview, Coach and Darnez. Hope to see you guys make a deep run in the CIF Southern Section playoffs. When we come back here on this home edition of the Inland Sports Show, we're talking more basketball. Darnez dropping 52 in a game. Well, how about RJ Dawson at Perris dropping 56 in a game? We've got an exclusive one-on-one interview with RJ when we come back on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Boostman here, breaking you with a quick 2 cent. Coachable athletes will always be the best athletes. They meet their coaches' expectations, they can be pushed harder, take constructive criticism, and don't mind having more responsibility placed on their shoulders. Because of this, they see more playing time, have leadership roles on their team, and have coaches who will rave and rant about them. Being coachable doesn't require talent, but it is a skill. You can be a talented athlete on your team, but if you're not coachable, you'll never be the best athlete. Boostman.
The City of San Bernardino has implemented a new low-cost sidewalk vending program in hopes of expanding opportunity for community members to start sidewalk vending safely and lawfully. We want everyone to have access to the economic benefits that sidewalk vending brings, but we want to make sure that our sidewalk vendors know the do's and don'ts when it comes to our city. We must make sure that vendors are keeping our residents safe by following general health and safety standards and by following all city rules. Like, did you know to legally sidewalk vend in the City of San Bernardino, you'll need a seller's permit? What about the $1 million general liability insurance that you are required to have? Don't let this scare you. When all is said and done, the cost of the annual permit will either be $64 or $154. We want to help in every way we can when it comes to vendors lawfully running and growing their small businesses. But those who operate without the proper permits can and will be cited. Citations can run anywhere from 100 to a misdemeanor, and repeated violations can result in the confiscation of items needed to sidewalk vend. We do not want this to be you. So, if you have any questions or concerns regarding the new sidewalk vending program, please call us at 909-384-5035, where staff will help you navigate your way to becoming a safe and permitted vendor in our city.
Nora. Cherry for three. It is good. Cherry continues to come up big time from off the Indian Springs bench. And that's it. Final seconds off the clock, and it is over. Indian Springs grabs a piece of first place in the Mountain Valley League with a 20-point win, 70-50. Daryl, what an effort tonight by the Coyote. Indian Springs with a 20-point win against Supa Dupa Harupa Valley. So the Coyotes and the Jaguars going into the final week of the regular season tied for first place in the Mountain Valley League. Sure looks like they're going to split that league championship. Now moving on with more high school basketball here on the Inland Sports Show. On just the other night, Perris taking on Tockwitz, Monday night to be exact, and RJ Dawson dropping 56 points in an overtime win against Tockwitz. It was essentially a battle for third place in the Mountain Pass League, so it was a very important game, and RJ Dawson went off for the Panthers in that win, and we had a chance to catch up with RJ, as it sure looks like Perris is now headed to the playoffs. They're 4-4 in league. So is Tockwitz going in after that big win, and Perris now with RJ Dawson leading the way, scoring a bunch of buckets, looking pretty good with the postseason around the corner. Here is RJ Dawson. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. He's coming off a game in which he dropped 56 points in an overtime win against Tockwitz. It's from the Perris Panthers, RJ Dawson. And RJ, man, dropping 56. Have you ever had a game where you felt that locked in?
Nah, that probably was like one of the first games I've had that I felt like, locked in like that.
So you guys win this game in overtime, 87-81, and you had 56 of those 87. Was it from the very start you knew, like, oh, man, this is going to be a big game for me, or did it kind of just gradually happen?
Not. It kind of gradually happened. I started off with a 3. And then from there, I just, kind of started to go slow a little bit, and then started picking up more in the second half.
So, RJ, what was your career high before this 56?
Probably like 29, probably 28, something like that.
Did you even surprise yourself? Did you even know you had 56, or did you have to find out after the game, like when you looked at the box score, like, oh my gosh?
No, I knew, I didn't know I had that much, but, I kind of figured. I was like, okay, I've been to the free throw line a lot of times. I think I got a cool 30 or something. But I didn't know it was that much.
Coach Young sent me some stats. So 56 points, 15 free throws, 5 3-pointers. So you did a little bit of everything. 18 shots from the paint. So from the outside, the inside, the free throw line. Is that how you'd kind of describe your game? Is you're a versatile player that can do a lot of different things on the floor?
Yeah, I think I could do a little bit of everything. I work from inside out, outside in, middies. Yeah, I think I can do a little bit of everything.
So, RJ, you guys beat Tockwitz, and I know, obviously, a big game for you, but an important win for Perris in terms of that league standings. With that win head-to-head against Tockwitz, you're both 4-4 in the league standings, and right now, I mean, you guys are fighting for a playoff spot. How important was that win against the Titans?
It was very important. Last time I was hurt. I hurt my knee, so I wasn't able to play against them, so I'm basically coming off an injury right now. But it felt good. Because all the guys, we knew that we had to win the game, so it was kind of we came to play.
So here we are, I think it's the last week, right, of the regular season. In terms of league play, I mean, what do you guys have to do to get to the playoffs? Are you in a pretty good spot, you think, right now?
Yeah, I think right now it's secured. But right now we're focusing on trying to steal a home playoff game, trying to get into second place. But a little bit of things got to happen tomorrow, but we just got to win tomorrow, and we should be good.
And who do you guys have on Wednesday night?
West Valley.
West Valley. So what do you? Yes, what do you? I mean, besides going for 56 points, what do you think you and the team have to do well to get that win against West Valley?
We just got to play. We just got to play. Play defense. For most of all, we got to start on defense. Last night, that was one of the things we lacked. Even though we were keeping up with them on the offensive end, but on the defensive end is where we mostly struggled.
So when you play for Coach Williams, does he like to preach defense? Like if you want to be out there and put up a lot of shots, that's great. But you've got to play defense too. You got to play on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, defense. Like today, practice all defense. Everything was defense. We went over a little bit of offensive sets or whatever, but it was mostly defense.
Well, RJ, how did you first start playing basketball? Did you have any siblings or someone else in your family that was interested, or how did you just get involved in the sport early on?
My dad, he used to play, but like not that much. And then I had a couple cousins that's played, but I didn't really start playing until I was like in end of 7th grade, 8th grade probably. And I started playing travel ball 8th grade, and then just picked it up from there.
Did you find out pretty early on that, you know what, I'm pretty good at basketball, like I'm not too bad?
I want to say that because I really didn't start doing much until maybe my last year. Like I wasn't really confident, so that was one of the things I had to build, because I wasn't really taking shots. I was passing up a lot of shots, and everybody was telling me I could do more, but I wasn't really doing more. So,
Like that, RJ, that's a great point. Like how do you build that confidence that you want the basketball? Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to look for my shot. I want the ball in my hands maybe when it's an important situation. How do you build that confidence and get that mindset?
You just got to spend more time in the gym, just pick up. It helps when you got coaches in your ear telling you that you need to do it and that if you want to go somewhere, you got to do it. So I think that helps a lot.
Is that the big goal for you? Is obviously, you want to have a great career at Perris and you want to get these guys to the playoffs and all those sorts of things. But at the same time, a scholarship would be great, right?
Yes, sir, it would. It would be great.
RJ, 56 against Tahquitz, big overtime win. And congrats, man. I appreciate you taking time to join us here on the show. And congrats on that huge game. And we'll see what you guys have in store for the playoffs now.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got it. That is RJ Dawson from Perris High School here on the Inland Sports Show. And that is the great RJ Dawson. And just to clarify, Perris and Tahquitz were both 4-4 going into their head-to-head battle. Obviously, Perris won that game in overtime thanks to that big game from RJ. So now Perris is at 5-4 in third place in the Mountain Pass League. They play West Valley tonight on Wednesday night for watching us live. And if they take care of their own business, and yes, they will be going to the playoffs. All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show. Listen, the Beaumont girls basketball team, still relatively new to the Citrus Belt League, but they are now back-to-back CBL champions. When we come back on the Inland Sports Show, we will hear from head coach Peter Carr and some highlights of their big head-to-head win against Cajon. And speaking of Cajon, we'll also check in with Cajon softball coach Lee Haynes. And you remember the Cowgirls are coming off a CIF Southern Section Division 5 title just last season. That's next on the Inland Sports Show.
What up, y'all? Boostman here with a quick nutrition 2 cent. Did you know in order to add 1 pound of lean muscle, you need to introduce at least 2,500 calories to your diet weekly? So, if you're looking to add some lean muscle, the best way to do this is to add 400 extra calories a day for men and 300 extra calories a day for women. And if you're looking to lose body fat, simply subtract those same amount of calories from your diet daily. Your boy, Boostman.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down, see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
The City of San Bernardino has implemented a new low-cost sidewalk vending program in hopes of expanding opportunity for community members to start sidewalk vending safely and lawfully. We want everyone to have access to the economic benefits that sidewalk vending brings, but we want to make sure that our sidewalk vendors know the do's and don'ts when it comes to our city. We must make sure that vendors are keeping our residents safe by following general health and safety standards and by following all city rules. Like, did you know to legally sidewalk vend in the city of San Bernardino, you'll need a seller's permit? What about the $1 million general liability insurance that you are required to have? Don't let this scare you. When all is said and done, the cost of the annual permit will either be $64 or $154. We want to help in every way we can when it comes to vendors lawfully running and growing their small businesses. But those who operate without the proper permits can and will be cited. Citations can run anywhere from 100 to a misdemeanor, and repeated violations can result in the confiscation of items needed to sidewalk vend. We do not want this to be you. So, if you have any questions or concerns regarding the new sidewalk vending program, please call us at 909-384-5035, where staff will help you navigate your way to becoming a safe and permitted vendor in our city.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show at Home edition. And we'll be back in the Teen Vision TV 16 studio next week. Let's talk some high school basketball. Big game last night on Tuesday night as Beaumont hosted Cajon in girls hoops. You'll remember 2 years ago, Cajon was the CBL champion. Just last season, Beaumont won the league championship at 10-0. And Tuesday night, the two teams going head-to-head. The first time they played, Beaumont only won by 3 in a very close game, 45-42. Second time around in CBL play, and tied 27-27 at the start of the fourth quarter, and Beaumont got on a run early, an 8-0 run to start the frame, and they would not look back. 48-42, the final score. So Beaumont is your Citrus Belt League girls basketball champions again. That's back-to-back titles in the CBL for the Cougars. We had a chance to catch up with head coach Peter Carr after the win to talk about going back-to-back in the CBL and just how special this group is to beat a very good and well-coached Cajon team twice in one season.
That's the whole thing we talked about all year long. If you play defense, here's the result. We know we can score, but you got to stop people. And they're a tough league. We beat them by 3 at home, or at their place, so we knew it was going to be a battle. Their chemistry, they love each other, they play well. They've known each other since the 5th grade, so it's great.
Inland Sports. All right, so that was Coach Carr after their big win against Cajon to wrap up another Citrus Belt League title. All right, transitioning now to softball. The baseball and softball seasons are right around the corner. For baseball, opening day is the following Saturday, February 11th, so that is right around the corner. And softball will be getting started early as well. We had a couple local CIF champions on the softball diamond last season. One of them was Cajon in Division 5, beating El Toro in a walk-off win last year. They had some really great players, including a couple really good seniors. But head coach Lee Haynes, he likes this year's group too. He's got a lot of returning players. Ciela Pickett, who was a big-time basketball and softball star at Rev, now at Cajon. He thinks this group could be just as special, maybe another championship, but they did get bumped up, he said, Division 5, according to Coach Haynes, all the way up to Division 3. We've got an entire I think it's about 12-minute interview with Coach Haynes coming up on this week on Sports Weekly on IEMG. But here's just a little taste of what we had to talk about with Coach Haynes here on the Inland Sports Show.
You know, I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, it was an unbelievable experience. And, you know, we got honored by Joe Baca, county supervisor, honored us with a special recognition, and 66ers honored us. So that was it was a really fun summer, and but we're ready to go again. I mean, we really like our team, and we got to work almost immediately after the end of the season trying to put some of the pieces back together again that we lost.
So after winning a championship, does it make you want another one more? Like, does it kind of, you know, fuel that fire? Like, hey, man, that was such a fun ride, and we won the championship. Let's see if we can do this again. That was such a fun season.
Without a doubt, it just makes myself and the coaching staff. It just makes us hungrier to get it, to go out and do it again. And yeah, with no question, do we feel satisfied, you know, or feel like, oh, we got this, so, you know, no problem. You know, if we don't have a good year, you know, we still got the ring and stuff. But no. My assistant coach, Larry Dotson, is always telling the girls, you know, I don't want to be like the Rams this year where they won the Super Bowl and then didn't make the playoffs, you know, so that is not what we're going to do.
Don't pull a Rams. That's awesome.
Yeah, don't pull a Rams. That's what I'm saying.
Inland Sports. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Don't pull a Rams. Don't win a championship and be so good one year and then the next year just basically fall off a cliff like the Rams did this season. They're trying to avoid that. You can look for the complete interview with Coach Lee Haynes this week on Sports Weekly on IEMG. All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show. The Super Kids Bowl is back in Hemet. We've got Matt Kraemer joining us with the details. That's next here on the Inland Sports Show.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Boostman here, gonna break you off with another Nutrition 2 Cent. Did you know that creatine is one of the most important natural supplements available for strength trainers? Unlike other supplements, it's been extensively researched, and 70% of users report high performance gains, especially for sports that require a high level of strength and power. So if you haven't added creatine to your diet, what are you waiting for? Signing off is your boy, Boostman.
The City of San Bernardino has implemented a new low-cost sidewalk vending program in hopes of expanding opportunity for community members to start sidewalk vending safely and lawfully. We want everyone to have access to the economic benefits that sidewalk vending brings, but we want to make sure that our sidewalk vendors know the do's and don'ts when it comes to our city. We must make sure that vendors are keeping our residents safe by following general health and safety standards and by following all city rules. Like, did you know to legally sidewalk vend in the City of San Bernardino, you'll need a seller's permit? What about the $1 million general liability insurance that you are required to have? Don't let this scare you. When all is said and done, the cost of the annual permit will either be $64 or $154. We want to help in every way we can when it comes to vendors lawfully running and growing their small businesses. But those who operate without the proper permits can and will be cited. Citations can run anywhere from 100 to a misdemeanor, and repeated violations can result in the confiscation of items needed to sidewalk vend. We do not want this to be you. So, if you have any questions or concerns regarding the new sidewalk vending program, please call us at 909-384-5035, where staff will help you navigate your way to becoming a safe and permitted vendor in our city.
I was like, wow, this is wild.
It was nuts. It was painful. It was painful to watch, man. It was a dumpster fire. And unfortunately, again, everything that could go wrong went wrong for the 49ers. The defense imploded. They were just shooting themselves in the foot. The quarterback situation, obviously, the non-call for the Eagles, that long pass to set up their first touchdown, and the NFL reviewed it and came back and said, yeah, that probably wasn't a catch. It's just like it all just snowballed, and it was like, man, they are not going to win this game. There's no way. So who knows? I don't know. I just was rolling my eyes after that game. I have nothing against the Chiefs. I have nothing against the Bengals. I was just like, man, the Chiefs are the luckiest team in the NFL. Yeah, every Monday and Thursday, hanging out with my boy Patrick in the morning on KCAL 96.7 FM, talking some sports. I hope you'll check that out. Now, I'm not super interested now in the Super Bowl because my San Francisco 49ers lost in that NFC Championship game. So I'm not looking forward to the Super Bowl, but I am looking forward to the Super Kids Bowl out in the Hemet area. It's been around for nearly 2 decades, had a little bit of a hiatus, like a lot of things, right, because of COVID, but it is back. The founding father, Matt Kraemer, has more on this. Oh, he's a big Eagles fan, full disclosure, but I like him anyways because he's a good dude, and this is a really great program, and once you hear more about it, I think you're going to be excited about it as well. Here's Matt Kraemer talking more about the Super Kids Bowl out at Hemet High School coming up on February 10th. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. It is Matt Kraemer, the man behind the Super Kids Bowl. I'm a 49ers fan, so I'm not interested in the Super Bowl anymore, but I am interested in the Super Kids Bowl. Matt, I know you've been doing this for a while now, but it's coming back after a little bit of a hiatus. How excited are you to bring the Super Kids Bowl back?
Oh, I'm really excited to bring it back. Last year, I'm a retired administrator. I've been retired for about 1.5 years, and I did some subbing as an assistant principal at Diamond Valley Middle School last year. Mm-hmm. And I got to talk to the SH teachers, and they told me how much they missed it and the kids missed it. So I vowed to them that I'd do what I could to bring it back this year, and now it's going to happen.
All right, so it's February 10th at Hemet High School. If folks are not familiar with the Super Kids Bowl, kind of explain its origins and what it's all about.
Okay, it started back when I was principal at Little Lake Elementary. In 2005, we had the county severely handicapped program, and it's kind of a fenced-off part of our campus at the time. And the kids really weren't able to matriculate with the general ed students. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I've tried to think of ways that I could make inclusion happen where they could be with the general ed students. And I saw this ESPN segment on a group of families that had special needs students score touchdowns, and they celebrated the touchdowns. And I thought, wow, I could really take that idea and run with it. And I brought it over to Hemet High, and we were able to have the first Super Kids Bowl that year with about 32 SH students from the county program. And since then, it just totally blossomed and boomed into a big event. What I didn't really count on was how much it meant to the high school students, because when we have this event, we have the football team, we have the band, and we have the cheerleaders. And we have a lot of ASB students out there helping out, taking pictures and setting things up. And they got as much out of it as our SH students got out of it. And I never really counted on that. And so it got to the point where we had to share it with other high schools in the district. So we'd rotate between Hemet High, West Valley, and Tuckwitz. And it just became this big event, and we went from 32 students to over 320 students. And it got actually too big to do it in one day. So we decided to make 1 year for secondary students, middle school and high school, and then the next year, the elementary SH students. And we rotated it that way. But we got shut down by COVID. The last time we did it was 2020. So we haven't done it in a couple of years, and now we're bringing it back.
So, Matt, obviously, you touched on something I think that's very important, the fact that the folks involved with it. You mentioned the football players, the cheerleaders, the band members. I mean, this works both ways. Obviously, it's a very special event, but for the folks volunteering and lending their time to make it happen, they're also getting a lot out of it as well. I mean, what a special way to, go out there and, like you said, play a football game and have them, score a touchdown or whatever it is and cheer them on and just be encouraging and supportive. I mean, it's like a win-win for everybody.
Oh, it is. It is. And it's a real community effort. I've had the Rotary Club help out. And this year, now that I'm retired, I'm playing senior softball, and I'm having my senior softball friends help out this year. And in the past, when I was principal at Idlewild, I'd have the Idlewild ASB help out. Just a lot of people pitched in, and they all were just really taken back by the whole event. So it's something you have to see in person. It's our SH students, they wear their emotions on their sleeve, so you know exactly how they're feeling. And to see a day where you have these big football players who, some of them have grown up in some pretty rough neighborhoods, and they just show so much compassion and have so much fun with these our SH student population. It's and I tell the kids it's all about having fun and just being out there and participating.
So Matt, again, you mentioned the layoff. You haven't had this since 2020. How excited are folks just to see the return of this after such a long hiatus? It's been 3 years, and I'm sure this is like you mentioned, such a big deal and an important thing for the community.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really well received, and I think after this event, they'll see that we've missed out on a lot the last couple of years. It'd be nice to bring it back.
So Matt, again, there's a great video. You sent me the link. It's on YouTube. 2017. It was at West Valley at the time, and it kind of shows you what it's going to look like and sound like. And there's a bunch of interviews with the folks involved. And I encourage folks to check it out. We'll put a link on our website as well. Matt, is this open to the public? I mean, can folks come to Hemet High School and watch? I mean, is there any way that the community can get more involved with this?
Yes. We'll have kickoff at 9:45. But the events will probably start about 9:30.
Okay.
We have the kids break through a banner to come out on the field as the football players and cheerleaders and band members greet them in a line as they come through like a tunnel. And then we also have an honor guard come out, and we do the national anthem. In the past, I've had some NFL football players involved in the coin toss. We're still working on that right now. I'm not sure if we'll be able to pull that off this year, but we'll see.
So you work closely with Coach Galloway or whatever school you might be with. In this instance,
yes.
At Hemet High School, and Coach Galloway is the head football coach of the Bulldogs. So you work closely with the football team and the coach at the respective schools?
Yes, absolutely. And our transportation department, it's a huge task for them to transport all these students with, special needs, with a lot of them. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but a fair amount have wheelchairs and, different medical needs that have to be transported with the students. But it's just a real special day.
Well, Matt, we're looking forward to it. Again, it's February 10th, 9:45 a.m. is when it's going to start at Hemet High School out there, and it's back after a 3-year hiatus. 2020 was the last time they had this, but now it is back, and Matt's been behind it for a long, long time. What 2 decades? I forget what you said off the top, but it's about 20 years or so?
18 years.
18 years?
We've been doing it for 18 years with a couple of years off.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I've heard from the football players is that they really, after spending a day with our students who are dealing with these physical and cognitive challenges,
mm-hmm.
that they reflect on what skills they have, and they vow to put more effort into their skills for the following year. So I think in a sense it helps improve their performance, just being around the kids.
It sure sounds like it. It sounds like it's a win-win for everybody that's involved, and,
sure.
and that it's such a big deal and such a special event, and glad to see it's coming back as well. Matt Kraemer, the guy behind the Super Kids Bowl, again, that is coming up on February 10th, 9:45 a.m. kickoff at Hemet High School. Matt, really appreciate the time, and I'm hoping to make it out there myself. I'd love to see that in person, and I hope you guys have a great event.
Yeah, I would love to have you out there, and I'd like your input on what you think of the event after it's over.
Well, Matt, you are the man. Really appreciate it. And thank you for joining us here on the Inland Sports Show.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Inland Sports. All right, that was Matt Kraemer. And again, Matt, thank you so much for that time, for the time to do that interview. Just wanted to let everyone else out there know about the Super Kids Bowl if you're not familiar with it, or maybe you are and just excited that it's coming back again. It's been around for almost 20 years, and it had a little bit of a break because of COVID, but now it is back, and it is great on so many different levels, and it's a win-win for everybody involved. So again, thank you, Matt. Now let's take a look at our Ken Sporting Goods must-see game this week. It's out there at Hemet as the Hemet High School girls soccer team will play for an Ivy League championship against perennial power Riverside Poly. Now going into this game, get this, Poly, 5 wins, no losses, 2 ties. Hemet, 5 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. Winner take all. If Hemet wins, they are the league champions. If Poly wins or ties, then Poly is the Ivy League champion. It's all on the line. It's our Ken Sporting Goods must-see game this week. And thank you to all our guests tonight. We had Roosevelt boys basketball, RJ Dawson from Perris. We checked in with Beaumont head girls basketball coach Peter Carr and Lee Haynes, the softball coach at Cajon. So it was a big show tonight. And again, we will be back in the Teen Vision TV 16 studio next week because tonight, well, I'll be at the CBU Event Center, CBU men's basketball with a big game tonight against Southern Utah. I hope you will join me on the call on ESPN+. If you're watching me live right now, I'm going to hustle over to the arena and do the game live on ESPN, so I hope you will check it out. My name is Pep Fernandez. Stay safe out there, everybody. God bless you. Make sure you are following and subscribed to the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We really appreciate it, and we will see you next time.